Okay, so here's part 3 to that first packet, the final part to that first packet that I gave you, survey problems. So in a survey on music, respondents were asked, do you listen to classical or do you listen to jazz? So they gave us this Venn diagram. So you'll see that in this section, you'll get problems 1 or 2 or 3 different ways, which they may give you the Venn diagram. They may ask you to create it. They may ask you to answer questions according to it, or whatever the case may be. In this case, they give you the Venn diagram. So you see that we have classical represents this whole circle here. Jazz represents this whole circle here. The one in the middle represents what people listen to classical and jazz. And let's go ahead and answer these questions. So how many listen to classical? So you would add the 55 into 20. That's the number of people that listen to the classical, and that would be 75. How many people listen to jazz? That would be 20 plus 70. So that'd be 90. How many listen to both? That would just be what they have in common at 20. How many listen to classical or jazz? So you're talking about the union of the sets. So you add all 3 together, 55, 20, and 70. That'll give you 145. How many listen to classical but not jazz? So classical but not jazz, so that'll just be the 55. Jazz but not classical, so that'll be the 70. How many listen to neither? And that's what that 30 was on the outside of the circles. And how many were surveyed? You add up all the numbers, and that'll be 175. Okay, so here they give us the wording and ask us to create the Venn diagram for it. Say if 60 people were contacted for a movie survey. The following info was obtained. You have 6 people that like comedies, drama, and science fiction. 13 like comedy and drama. 10 like comedy, science fiction. 11 like drama and science fiction. 26 like comedy. 21 like drama. 25 like science fiction. So when you look at all of these numbers, the only number that's going to be in your Venn diagram is the number 6, because that's the one that incorporates all 3. Remember I told you when we talked about Venn diagrams before, you always start with, in the middle, you always start with what's in common with all of your categories. So we start with the 6. And when we go to our Venn diagram, we start with the 6 in the middle, and then everything else will be subtracted from. And so what I mean by that, if you look at, let's see, comedies and drama, this intersection right here represents comedy and drama, the whole intersection. So 6 is a part of that intersection. So in order for me to figure out this number, what I had to do was do 13 minus 6, and that was 7. Because 13 like comedy and drama. So the next one, 10 likes comedy and science fiction. Comedy and science fiction, that's this intersection right here. 6 is already here, so I subtract 6 from the 10, and that leaves me with 4. So 6 plus 4 gives me this whole intersection of 10. And then the next one, drama and science fiction is 11. So I did 11 minus 6, and that gives me 5 right here. So looking at the whole circle of comedy, the whole circle of comedy has to equal up to 26. So this whole circle has to equal to 26. So you do 26 minus 4 minus 6 minus 7, and that'll be 9 out here. It's just like comedy. The whole circle of drama has to add up to 21. So we do 21 minus 5 minus 6 minus 7, and that'll leave me with 3 out here. And then science fiction, the whole circle has to add up to 25. So we do 25 minus 4, 6, and 5, and that'll leave me with 10 on the outside. And then remember that 60 people were surveyed altogether. So all of these numbers have to add up to 60 in order for you to not have anything out here in the universe. So you subtract all these numbers from 60, and you see that we have 16 left. So 16 people didn't like comedies, dramas, or science fiction. All right. So we have another one. It says a survey of college students was taken regarding alcohol, cigarettes, and illegal drugs. This problem was way too long, so I just shortened it up. Here, 894 like alcohol, 665 cigarettes, 192 drugs, illegal drugs, and then here alcohol and cigarettes, alcohol and drugs, cigarettes and drugs. These numbers are assigned to 97 did all three, 309 did none. So just like before, you can start with all three. 97 will be in our Venn diagram, but we also can use this 309 and put that on the outside. So 97 is on the inside, 309 is on the outside of all of our circles. And then from there, we will be doing our subtraction. So for cigarettes and drugs, this intersection is supposed to add up to 119. So we subtract 97 from the 119, we get 22 out here. Alcohol and drugs, this intersection needs to add up to 114. So subtract 97 from 114, get 17 to put out here. Then alcohol and cigarettes, 424 minus the 97 gives me 327 right here. Then for the circle of drugs, subtract 17, 97, 22, that'll give me 56 out here. Cigarettes supposed to add up to 665, subtract 327, 97, 22, that'll give me 219. And then alcohol should add up to 894, subtract 327, 97, and 17, and that'll give me 453 out here. So that's the Venn diagram. Now this one asks us to create the Venn diagram and answer questions. So that's what the next few slides will be about. So how many people were surveyed all together? You would just add up all of your numbers and you get 1,500. Add up all of your numbers, that would end up giving 1,500. How many drank alcohol or smoked cigarettes? So that's the union. So you add up all the numbers in A and C. So you add up all these numbers in A and C, and that would be 1135. How many did illegal drugs only? That would be 56. How many did alcohol and cigarettes? Remember, and is your intersection, but not drugs. So when you go back to your Venn diagram, alcohol and cigarettes, but not drugs, that would just be a 327. This is the intersection of alcohol and cigarettes is right here. The drugs, those who did drugs is 97, so we just want 327. How many did alcohol or drugs, but not cigarettes? So you're talking about alcohol or drugs, you're unioning alcohol and drugs, but you're leaving out the cigarettes part. So all you're doing is adding 453, 17, and 56. And they gave me 526. How many engaged in exactly two? So you go back, exactly two, 327, 17, and 22. They give me 366. How many engaged in at least one? So you can subtract 309 from the total, or add all of them up except for the 309. So you're talking about at least one. That would be everybody except for the ones who did none. All right, and that is a random example of something that someone asked me about, so I wouldn't worry about that one at all. So this is where this ends. So part 3 is over. The whole section, the whole lecture is done. Let me know if you have any questions.